the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North.
What's up? What's good? Good evening. Welcome to All About Sports 216 The Show on this Thursday evening with your man Keith Allen today on September 25th, 2025. This evening, how y'all doing? Hope everyone is doing well. Today I will be talking about a lot during the show today. I will be talking about a lot. I will be talking about how the Guardians have made their miracle run and hopefully soon to be clinching the AL Central Division and participating in the Major League Playoff this year in the American League. I'll be talking about the Browns as they go to Detroit. And can the Browns pull out victory in Detroit after an upset victory against the Green Bay Packers? Then I'll also be talking about Ohio State as they make a trip cross country as they take on the Washington Huskies. And last but not least, I'll be talking about, well, not even last. Then I'll be talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers, as the Cavaliers will be set to open training camp early next week. And they got a couple new additions to go on the roster as well. And last will be my quick picks. Didn't have such a good week on the quick picks last week, but this week I can redeem myself. I definitely can redeem myself. But first off, a word from my sponsor. Anointed Angel Apparel, where faith, family, and fashion come together. From stylish t-shirts and cozy sweatshirts to dazzling bling rhinestone shirts that shine with purpose, we design every piece with God at the center. But we don't stop there. Discover personalized tumblers, beautiful photo slates, custom engraving, and even UV 3D textured house decor items that make your house a home. In every design, Anointed Angel Apparel comes a message of hope, faith, and love, because we're more than a brand. We're a family business devoted to lifting up the name of Jesus. Shop with us today and wear your faith boldly. Anointed Angel Apparel, where your testimony becomes your style. Email anointedangel.apparel.com for a custom consultation. And I'm back. All About Sports 216. Be sure, as I'm about to get my little thing going down here, my ticker going, be sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to the Alan Viz Media 2 YouTube channel. That's right, subscribe to the Alan Viz Media 2 YouTube channel. And always remember, the chat lines are always open. The chat lines are always open, so feel free to chime in. Definitely feel free to chime in. Now, my first order of business is the Cleveland Guardians. And their incredible run in September. The Cleveland Guardians starting off the month was 10.5 games out. 10.5 games out in the AL Central Division. Where, I figured if anything, a wild card was possible. Little did I know that they would come in September and just do the most. Little did I know that they'd just come back and do the most. Little did I know. I'm up here a little distracted here because I'm up here typing and everything and stuff. The Guardians, who are playing the Detroit Tigers this evening, after beating the Tigers 5-1 yesterday, the Guardians are now 86-72 with a magic number of 3 to clinch the Central Division in the AL Central. Let's see. The Guardians. They record in September. The Guardians have an 18-5 record in the month of September. Imagine that. 18-5. And more than that, the Guardians have just been on a tear. They recently had a 10-game losing streak snap, and they lost to Minnesota. So the Guardians have won 12 out of their last 13 games. 12 out of their last 13 games. And I mean, the Guardians have been doing it primarily with pitching. Their pitching has been strong. I mean, strong, shut you down. The pitching has definitely been strong. Primarily with pitching, the Guardians have overtook the Detroit Tigers. They still got 1 game to go tonight in the series. Then we got 3 with Texas at home. And then we'll see the Guardians' fate and everything. But right now, everything looks good. Everything looks definitely good for the Guardians. And man, I'd have never thought. But I did say a while ago that the Guardians was still alive in the playoff picture. I thought they were still alive in the playoff picture. I never would have thought that they were alive for the division. At one point, they were 15.5 out. Now, if the Guardians come out back and they end up winning the Central Division, that would be the largest deficit to come back and win a division since the 1978 Yankees, when the Yankees came back from 14 games down to overtake the Boston Red Sox. Back in the days when it was just 2 divisions, the American League, two divisions in the American League and National League. It was the AL East and the AL West. And the Guardians are, they're on a hell of a run. I got to give them credit. They are on a hell of a run. A hell of a run. Where the pitching has been lights out. The pitching has been lights out. Unhittable, basically. Unhittable. Ever since they went to a 6-man rotation here in September, this pitching rotation has been unhittable. Now let me see who the Guardians play. Well, they play Detroit today. I wonder who is the pitching matchup for today for the Guardians in Detroit. Today. Doesn't say right here. Let's see. Pitching matchup. Let me punch this in. Pitching matchup. Because I think Detroit is doing a bullpen game, if I'm not if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Gavin Williams was on Tuesday. That was Tariq Schoolball. Chuck today. Let's see what the pitching matchup is today for the Guardians and everything. Bennett Park. Let's see. Guardians probable pitchers today. Let's see. Today, Troy Melton for Detroit. 3-2 with a 2.79 ERA goes up against Parker Messick for the Guardians. 3-0, 2.08 ERA. Messick has been pretty tough since he's been called up by the Guardians. Messick has been pretty tough. And, hey, if the Guardians sweep, they'll be 2 games up on Detroit with 1 game to clinch. They can clinch a playoff spot today, I think, if Houston loses today. And let's see what the score is of the Houston, sorry about that. Houston Sacramento Athletics. Let's see, Houston Astros. Got it all wrong today. 9:25. They don't score. That's weird. And they're scoring. I thought it was afternoon game today. I'll probably have to go somewhere else. Let's see. I know what to do. Probably go to MLB scores. Let's see. LB scores today. Because a whole lot of afternoon games today. I know that for a fact. Oh, top of the 8th, Astros up on the Athletics 11-1 in the top of the 8th. Astros up on the Athletics 11-1. Well, most likely the Astros are winning. Even if the Guardians win today, they won't clinch a wild card spot more than likely unless the A's make a miraculous comeback. But if the Guardians win today, they can put their magic number to clinching the division at 1 if they beat the Detroit Tigers today and sweep the Detroit Tigers today. David Fry of the Cleveland Guardians is out for the rest of the season after taking a fastball off the face during the game against the Detroit Tigers in Game 1 of the series after attempting a bunt on a pitch by Tariq Schoolball. Tariq Schoolball did come to check on David Fry at the hospital and everything, which was a class move by Tariq Schoolball of the Detroit Tigers and everything. But no more David Fry for the season. Fry had a rough season. He had elbow surgery and just never quite got off to that start. Never quite got off right for the season and everything. But hopefully everything goes well with Fry and his recovery. Other than that, the Guardians have done it by pitching. Because the hitting, honestly, the hitting has been mid at best. Because really, if you look at the Guardians starting lineup, all it is really is Steven Kwan, Jose Ramirez, Kyle Manzardo. That's been it. Everybody else is batting low 200s or whatever and stuff like that. But their pitching has been lights out. And you think about it, the Guardians have went through hell and back. If you really think about it, they went through hell and back. 'Cause first, they lost starting pitcher Luis Ortiz due to the gambling probe. Then, not on that, they traded ace Shane Bieber, even though he hadn't participated in no games this year. They traded Shane Bieber. Then, the big blow in which the Guardians could have folded up the tent and said, forget it, we're done, was when Emmanuel Clase got caught up in that same gambling investigation as well. So, the Guardians have actually persevered through a lot. Because I didn't expect this team to really contend like that this year. Because they had traded Josh Naylor, they had traded Jimenez, and hey, I didn't expect them to do this. I'm gonna be honest. Now it will be interesting with how they do in the postseason, if they make it to the postseason, and if they are a division winner. But that remains to be seen. We still got 4 games to go, and hey, they got business at hand. So hopefully within the next half hour, the Guardians will start. Sorry about that. I had to get my headphones right. The Guardians will take on the Detroit Tigers at 6:40 p.m. here in Cleveland. And hopefully the Guardians can win tonight and reduce that magic number to 1 to clinch the AL Central. And that would be huge. But now it's time for me to move it along. And I'm going to move to football as the Cleveland Browns, fresh off an upset victory over the Green Bay Packers, defeating the Green Bay Packers 13-10, in which the Browns scored 13 points in the final 4 minutes of the game in the fourth quarter after trailing 10-0 in the fourth quarter. A field goal by Andrew Smith reduced the lead from the Packers from 10-0 to 10-3. Then a Grant Delpit interception and return to the Green Bay 4-yard line, which then Quinshon Judkins, who was huge in the fourth quarter for the Browns, scored his first NFL touchdown, making the game a 10-10 tie after Andrew Smith converted the extra point. And then Green Bay was trying to go for a game-winning field goal late with 21 seconds left. The Cleveland Browns blocked the field goal for a return, and then the Browns made a couple plays. Then Andrew Smith at the end kicked a 55-yard field goal for the Cleveland Browns to win 13-10. And with that being said, I got something for y'all on the Browns. My Cleveland Browns players ball. I'll do this when the Browns win. I'll definitely do this when the Browns win. I'll have a players ball for the Browns. I have to take down this thing here. And my players ball, my players for the Browns during week 3. Quinshon Judkins, he was huge. He turned that game around. And I could have named more on the Browns, to be honest. Quinshon Judkins, he's huge. He had 2 big runs in the fourth quarter, starting a drive that led to the Browns' first points of the game in the fourth quarter. He had a 14-yard run and a 38-yard run. And I think he is the guy, our bell cow back. Myles Garrett, he could be players of the ball every week. Myles Garrett can be players ball every week. His influence on the defensive line, he plays the run well now. The pass well. They was triple teaming Myles Garrett. And the other Browns he plays. Carson Schweshinger, rookie, made 10 tackles and had a sack of Jordan Love. Schlesinger, man, he's that guy. So far, he's been that guy as a rookie, doing big things. Malik Collins, free agent signing. Dude was in that backfield. He was giving the Packers fits. Fits. Offensive line, backfield, fits. He had 1.5 sacks. Myles Garrett also had a half a sack. He had 1.5 sacks in the game. He was creating havoc. And Malik Collins, that's all he's done this season is create havoc for the Browns, who have the number one ranked defense, by the way, in the NFL. Grant Delpit, my dude here, he said it was easy to tackle Derrick Henry. And Delpit didn't flinch. He played his game against Baltimore. He did his thing. If it wasn't for the offense giving the ball away and special teams letting the punt get blocked and giving up a huge punt return, who knows how that game would have turned out. But Grant Delpit made the play of the game, made one of the big play of the game when he intercepted a pass by Jordan Love, and then had the mindset to return it all the way down to the 4-yard line, which led to the Browns' touchdown that tied the game. And then rookie kicker Andrew Smith. He could have just folded the tent, gave up. The Browns could have cut him. Everybody was yelling to cut him. Even I was looking at Andrew Smith sideways, but dude stuck with it. And he has made all his kicks, extra points, and field goals since that game against Cincinnati. And he's really done kept it going. He's really kept it going. Shouts out to Andrew Smith. Let me get that off of there. But the Browns do play the Detroit Lions on Sunday, which is another challenge at best. What's up, Mike? I won't believe that the Browns will win 3 games in a row. Mike, I don't know about that. Maybe later in the season as the schedule gets a little lighter. But in the NFL, I don't put nothing past anything. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. But, like I said, the Cleveland Browns do face the Detroit Lions. This wasn't it. That's okay. That's okay. I be messing up, see. They face the Detroit Lions on Sunday at 1 p.m. As you see, I got Myles Garrett, Quinshon Judkins, and I got Amir Gibbs and Aiden Huntington on the thing with us, with the Browns. The Lions are a 9.5 point favorite for the game. What am I doing? They're a 9.5 point favorite in the game. Now, one of the key matchups in that game on Sunday for the Browns and Detroit, and if the Browns is to stay in this game, and if the Browns is to keep it close late, will be the Browns' front 7 against Detroit's offensive line, which is the best in the league by far. Because if the Browns' front 7 can create havoc on Detroit's front line and win that line of scrimmage and control that running game with Detroit and make Jared Goff uncomfortable as the quarterback of the Lions, the Cleveland Browns could be in this game at the end. And if they're in it in the fourth quarter, anything can happen. If the Cleveland Browns front 7 can control that line of scrimmage, which is the Browns front line, the front 4, and the linebackers, Schlesinger and Devin Bush, who, by the way, Devin Bush has been balling the hell out too this season as well. I could have put him on there too. But if the Browns front six, front seven, can control the line of scrimmage against Detroit, the Browns could be in this game at the end, and anything can happen. Because I'm going to be honest, the Detroit Lions are probably the most offensively balanced team in the league. They got a two-headed monster at running back with Amir Gibbs and Montgomery. They're tough. They're tough. Their running backs are tough. And they got multiple wide receivers with Ahmad St. Brown. What's the other kid's name? What is the other kid's name? The other wide receiver, Jamison Evans, something like that. Wide receiver. Then they got Laporta at tight end. And that offensive line is stout. That offensive line is stout. But like I said, if the Browns can, let's see, I'm up here doing something. 2025. Here we go. Mm. 2025. Let's see. Where we go. Right here. Jared Goff. You got Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, the two-headed monster at running back. Then at wide receivers, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams. They got multiple wide receivers. Khalif Raymond, multiple wide receivers. Tight end Sam Laporta. Offensive line is stout on Detroit. Their offensive line is stout. And on defense, you got Aiden Hutchinson, of course, DJ Reader in the middle. Al-Quadin Muhammad, who created havoc in the Baltimore Ravens backfield. He was all in Lamar Jackson's face on Monday night. Got Jack Campbell, a linebacker. And you got Brian Branch at safety, DJ Reed at right corner. But I will say this about Detroit. This team is strong and they're tough. But their defense is not as tough as the defenses we have faced in the last 2 weeks. Well, I can't even really say Baltimore because Baltimore been getting torched too. And Detroit torched them bad. I mean, badly. Bad. But, like I said, if the Browns' front six can control the line of scrimmage, win the line of scrimmage, they'll probably be in. And if the offense doesn't turn the ball over and they have some sustained drives, keeping Jared Goff and that offense off the field, the Cleveland Browns might have a chance in the fourth quarter if they're close. Because look at Green Bay. The Browns stayed close. They was only down 10-0, and look what happened. Browns pulled it out somehow, some way. This is why they play the game. And all I'm saying is, if the Cleveland Browns front can control the line of scrimmage on defense and stuff the run like they have with Cincinnati, with Baltimore, with Green Bay, and make Jared Goff uncomfortable, the Browns will be in this game at the end. They'll be in this game at the end, especially if the offense doesn't turn the ball over. If the offense doesn't turn the ball over. But the thing I would need from the offense is, and even though a lot of people are saying Joe Flacco should be replaced by Dylan Gabriel, but we know in the reality world, Kevin Stefanski ain't doing that. He ain't going out like that. Not right now. anyway. And I even said, I give Joe Flacco the Detroit game. Now, if it gets ugly and he starts throwing picks or whatnot, then, and the game gets real ugly, then maybe I'll be down to pivot going into Minnesota. I'll be down to pivot going to England. But I'll go with Joe Flacco for today. I mean, not for today, but for Sunday, I'll go with Joe Flacco. But I will say this. In order for Joe Flacco to be effective, I need the old Joe Flacco back. For real, I need the old Joe Flacco back. Because, see, Joe Flacco is doing really what Deshaun Watson did last year. He has become check down Charlie. Now, it was a difference. Deshaun Watson, I don't know if it was the shoulder or was Kevin Stefanski drilling into him, don't turn the ball over or whatnot, don't throw interceptions. But this is the same thing we have seen last year with Deshaun Watson. And everybody raised hell. And this year, though, the language is different because Joe Flacco. But if Joe Flacco is going to be out there, I got to see Joe Flacco as Joe Flacco, airing it out. He has to challenge that Detroit secondary because what teams are doing to the Browns now, they're just crowding everything in. They like, hey, well, you see, the Dylan Sampson passes were effective against Cincinnati, but Baltimore snuffed all that out. Green Bay snuffed all that out. And they'll give up the little 6 to 8 yard route to the tight end. But the Browns have to go deep. They got to challenge them deep. You got Jared Judy. You got Isaiah Bond. Isaiah Bond was open all day last week. And we couldn't get the ball to him. He was open all day last week. You got Cedric Tillman. We have to test that Detroit secondary. And Joe Flacco has to be at Joe Flacco peak strength. Now, I don't know if it's Kevin Stefanski telling him don't throw interceptions or check down or whatever, but this ain't the Joe Flacco I'm used to seeing. And if Joe Flacco, I'm going to say it like this. If you're going to go out on the blaze. Forget that. Go out on the blaze. Go out blazing. Because right now, this Joe Flacco, I don't know who this guy is. Because he done become check down Charlie too. And that was the problem last year with Deshaun Watson. Check down Charlie. Now, I understand the offensive line, well, really, your offensive tackle position is screwed. Because now, not only Conklin is out, I don't know if he's going to play this Sunday, but now, your other tackle, DeJuan Jones, is out for the season. So, on the tackles, the Browns are screwed. They're screwed. But Joe Flacco's got to be able to function at Joe Flacco type levels. You can't be check down Charlie. If you're going to go out Joe Flacco, go out blazing. Go out blazing and attack and challenge that Detroit secondary. Because Detroit secondary, come on now. Come on now. But the thing that does worry me is on the offensive line where, I'm going to be honest, Detroit was in that Baltimore backfield all night last night. I mean, all night on Monday night. And mainly the two, Al-Quadin Muhammad, Aiden Hutchinson, DJ Reader, that Detroit front line was raising havoc. Just like the Browns front line was raising havoc on Jordan Love. Detroit's front line was raising havoc on Baltimore. Because I seen stuff I had never seen with Lamar Jackson. And that's the only thing I'm really afraid of and everything. I think Quinshawn Judkins will continue to do his thing and stuff like that, but we need Joe Flacco to start challenging Detroit through the air. You might have to go with you might have to go with two tight ends, but you might have to go with one tight end. Gonna have to chip one of those defensive ends from Detroit first. But you're going to have to challenge Detroit down the field. That's the only way things can be effective for the Browns. You're going to have to challenge Detroit down the field, because if not, Detroit just going to close everything in, and there's no way you can possibly win being checked down Charlies. I'm just going to be honest. But this is why they play the game on Sunday, and the Browns hopefully can pull one out. We shall see. We shall see. But we're going to move right along to college football, where the Ohio State Buckeyes, who are ranked number 1 and undefeated, takes their show on the road and faces the Washington Huskies. Ohio State, and Washington both are undefeated in this Big Ten matchup, the first for both teams, both at 3-0. Washington Huskies have been really underrated, to be honest. I know they're not rated in the top 25, but they're tough. They're tough. They're tough. They are tough. And it's going to be a tough go for Ohio State. Going to Washington. It's going to be a tough go. It's going to be a tough go. Going to Washington, they, let me see. Trying to find things. Let's see. Let's see. Washington roster. I get the standout players. Main players 2025. Let's see. Running back. Let's see. So Washington is a tough task. I will say that. It's a very tough task. But I will say this about Ohio State against Washington as they go along. I expect in the first half for offensive coordinator Brian Hartline to call the game kind of conservative for quarterback Julian Sainz, since this will be his first road start. And he's starting in Washington, which has one of the loudest crowds in college football. I expect Ohio State to call the game conservative in the first half. I will expect them to call the game conservative in the first half. But I will say this. I will definitely say this. How can I say this? I definitely say this. The I definitely say this. For the Buckeyes to win this game, they are going to have to get 2 or 3 big plays in the passing game from Julian Sainz. And I think those plays will probably come in the second half. I honestly think Bo Jackson should be the starting running back for Ohio State. I think he should be the starting running back for Ohio State. Now I then came with the team leaders for the Washington Huskies. Stats: Damon Williams, junior quarterback, 778 yards. He has thrown for 6 TDs, no interceptions. Russian leader is Jonah Coleman, 347 yards. 347 yards. Jonah Coleman, average of 6.8 per carry. He'll be challenged by that Ohio State defense, trust me. Receiving yards. Denzel Boston, 249 receiving yards. Denzel Boston, 249 receiving yards, 15.6 average. Long of 39, 3 touchdowns. On defense, tackle Devin Bryant, linebacker, 17 tackles and interceptions. Alex McLaughlin, 2 interceptions from his safety position. Like I said, Washington will be a challenge. Like I said, and I said it before when Ohio State played OU. I said in the first half, I said OU was going to give Ohio State that work. And I think Washington in the first half is going to give Ohio State that work in the first half and in the second half. The key is, can Julian Sain make 2 to 3 big plays in the passing game against Washington for Ohio State to win this game? I think they can. And I'll say this. I got Ohio State beating Washington by a score of 24 to 17. 24 to 17. I think it will be close, but I got Ohio State beating Washington 24 to 17, and the Buckeyes will be 4-0 and hopefully staying number 1. Because you never know with these rankings nowadays, because you got the Miami Hurricanes on a tear. But I got Ohio State 24 to 17. Now, let me move right along. Got my captions. I got the quick picks for today. I don't even got my quick pick board. Quick pick board. I've been quick pick board, but my record is 9-10 because I went 3-4 last week. My record is 9-10. Now the quick pick for today is the Seattle Seahawks taking a show on the road to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Seahawks are 2-1. The Arizona Cardinals, I think, are 2-1. Seahawks, man, this team is fast, tough. They're all over the place, but they are fast. Their defense is tough. And me saying that, I think they're going to give Kyler Murray fits. Sam Darnold is doing his thing at quarterback. Seattle doesn't ask Sam Darnold to do too much. Just do the simple things, and we'll be okay. They run the ball. They're a running team. So my quick pick for today's game is I got Seattle winning. It'll be tight, but I got Seattle winning 24 to 21 in the desert against the Arizona Cardinals. I got Seattle winning 24 to 21. And moving right along, the Cleveland Cavaliers, oh my goodness, are opening training camp very soon. Very soon. I mean, very soon. I think it's September the 28th. Something like that, 28th, 29th. They'll be opening down in IMG Academy down in Florida for a week. Then they'll be back up here like around October 5th, something like that. But the Cavs did make two acquisitions right before training camp. And I'm going to show you. Should have had these guys raised up. Now I look at the thing now. Should have had them raised up more and everything. But hey, it happens and stuff like that. But the Cavs did pick up Thomas Bryant. Thomas Bryant is a power forward, center. Thomas Bryant played for the Indianapolis Pacers and Miami Heat last year. He played 10 games for the Miami Heat, averaging 4 points a game. He played 56 games for the Indianapolis Pacers, averaging 6.9 points a game. And he played a key role in the Pacers' run to the championship, to the NBA Finals last year. And they took on and lost to the OKC Thunder. Killian Hayes was with the Brooklyn Nets last year. He and in the CBA. Killian Hayes played 6 games, 9 points. Didn't do too much for the Brooklyn Nets, but he did play in the G League last year. And he previously played for Detroit, where his highest average with Detroit was in 2022, where he averaged 10.3 points a game and played in 76 games. 10.3 points a game, 6.2 assists a game. And with the Brooklyn Nets, he also averaged 5.2 assists a game. Something ain't right with this thing here. Well, okay. Games played, he averaged 9 points a game. 9 points a game, 3 rebounds, and 5.2 assists a game for Killian Hayes with the Brooklyn Nets. So the Cavs are still filling out their roster and making it a lot of depth. A lot of depth, which is something that the Cavs didn't have last year. You know, that means with the addition of Thomas Bryant, I guess it's peace out to Tristan Thompson. But Thomas Bryant will be able to play minutes for the Cavs. So, and he can also shoot from the three-point line as well, which is another threat from the three-point line. And he's an intense player and everything, which the Browns do need a lot of intensity. They need some more intense players as well. But this year, the Cavs are favorites in the East. We'll see. And the thing is, I think with the Cavs, everybody's going to play the waiting game because it's like no matter what they're doing with the regular season, they can win 65 games without the regular season. They're going to wait. This team is going to be judged on what they do April, May, and June. That's April, May, and June. They're going to be judged on what they do April, May, and June. And we'll see what happens and everything for the Cavs. But that brings me here to the conclusion of All About Sports 216. I'd like to thank everybody who took time to chat with me and everything. Always remember, All About Sports 216 The Show. Excuse me. All About Sports 216 The Show comes on every Thursday at 6 p.m. That's right, every Thursday at 6 p.m. Also, subscribe, if you already haven't, to the Alan Viz Media 2 YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Alan Viz Media 2 YouTube channel. And also, stay tuned for me on Sunday. Because Sunday morning, I will be on at 11 o'clock instead of 12. Sunday morning at 11 a.m., I will be on with the All About Sports 216 Cleveland Browns pregame show as a preview the Cleveland Browns game against the Detroit Lions up in Motown this Sunday at 11 a.m. Then I'll have a special announcement for the Browns game against Minnesota because I think I'm going to do the podcast on a Saturday. on a Saturday evening, maybe about 9, 10 o'clock in the evening, because the game starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to be up. But an hour or so after that game, I will do the post game about 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, something like that, and everything will be threw off because the Browns go to England and all that. But I'll be doing the pregame show this Sunday at 11 a.m. And that's about it. All About Sports 216 The Show with me, Keith Allen. I like to say shouts out to everybody watching. And I want to say this in closing. Be grateful for what you have and who you have in your life. Because everything can change within a blink of an eye. And if you don't think so, ask somebody. For real. Ask somebody. But anyway, this is your man Keith Allen signing out for All About Sports 216 The Show. Have a great evening. Be safe. And go Guardians and go Browns.
We in it for the love of the sport.
Love, man.
We the real McCoys, running the full court.
Yeah.
We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North.
That's my
We in
baby.
it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport.
Love, man.
We the real McCoys, running the full court.
Yeah.
We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North.
That's my
We in
baby.
it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport.
Love, man.
We the real McCoys, running the full court.
Yeah.
We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North.
That's my
To the ladies out here looking fine to me, I wanna get that, hit that. To the ladies out here that be grinding on me, I wanna get that, hit that. To the ladies out here getting down daily, I wanna get that, hit that. To the ladies out here that are quarters to me, I wanna get that, hit that. Hell yeah.
Excuse me, baby, I can't let you pass. You got me mesmerized just by the shape of your ass. And the sight of your thong with your pants cut low makes me wanna touch you real freaky, and that's for sure. Now we only got a few minutes, no time for sequel. While my girl walking around conversating with people, got thoughts on my mind and some consider illegal. And we can do outside in the back of my Regal. Now you gotta promise you can keep it a secret, because you're the kind of girl that I got to creep with and sleep with. But it won't happen like that. The only reason that you here because you heard I could rap. Now we back in the club, I slipped in through the back, and my girl straight tripping. Where the hell you been at? If she only knew what just happened to me, I guarantee that shit would be the death for me.
To the ladies out here looking fine to me, I wanna get that, hit that. To the